Right, I've had a couple of requests to go through some two-step inequalities. So these are from the two-step inequality worksheet. They're both on the front page. We're going to go through number 3 and number 5. All right, so here's number 3. It says -3 times p plus 1 in brackets is less than or equal to -18. Now, we've talked always about doing BEDMAS backwards and looking for the addition, subtraction first, then the multiplying and dividing. The brackets still need to come first. We need to get rid of those brackets before we can do anything in this equation. So in fact, I need to distribute the -3 through each piece in the brackets. And if you struggle with this, go back. We still have the video on distribution, so we can check that out. So -3 times p is -3p. -3 times 1 is -3. And that is less than or equal to -18. Now that the brackets are gone, I can start my BEDMAS backwards. I'm looking for any subtraction or addition. So right here, I have some subtraction. I'm subtracting 3. I'm actually going to grab that and I'm going to move it to the other side, and it will change signs. It becomes +3 when we move it. The other way there would just be thinking adding 3 to both sides, if we add 3 to both sides. Okay, let's keep going. Now I'm going to rewrite that is -3p less than or equal to -18 plus 3 is actually -15. Now I'm going to look for my next step. Is there any addition, multiplying, dividing? Be careful. A lot of people will see that negative and think I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Well, that is actually a mistake, because this is -3 times p. And I mentioned in the video, we can even think of this as -3 times p. So I'm going to divide by -3. That will be 1. And I'm going to divide this side by -3. So now on the left, I just have the p. I've divided by a negative, so I got to remember my rule and flip the sign over. Now I have negative divided by negative is a positive number. 15 divided by 3 is 5. There is our algebraic solution now. Let's graph that one. So I'm going to my reference point, that is 5. There is an equal sign here, so I'm going to fill that in. So I have a filled in circle at 5. I'm going to test a point. I can test anything. I've always been testing 0. I think 0 works really nice. But you could test anything. I could test 10. So if I test 10, the equation becomes 10 greater than or equal to 5. Well, that is right. That is correct. So I am going to draw my arrow in that direction. So there is my solution. Let's try one more. Question 5 on that same worksheet said -b minus 2 is greater than 8. So no brackets to deal with this time. I just need to take this -2 and I'm going to move that over here, and it will become +2. So now I have -b greater than 8 plus 2 is 10. But I have -b. Now, I don't want the negative. So we got a couple of things. We could visualize this as -1 times b. And if we have -1 times b, I would divide by -1. That would become 1. And we would divide this side by -1. Okay, now we have divided by a negative, so I do have to make sure I flip my sign over, and I get b is less than -10. So I'm going to -10. I'm going to put my circle. There is no equal sign, so we're not going to fill this one in. and we want the numbers that are less than 10. Let's do a test point again. I will test -6. -6 less than -10. Well, that's not right. That doesn't work. -6 is actually greater than -10. So I'm going to shade the other way. So I have to shade to the left. And there's a couple. So keep practicing. When you do have questions, make sure you send them in to me. We can make these quick videos.